Good day everyone, this is BMW iX1 and this car started being produced in China in the third quarter of 2023. So for China it's a very fresh model and their sales began in August of 2023. And this car is interesting because it has quite good equipment, at least in the top version as for BMW of course, and also the prices have now huge discounts. The new car is actually expensive. The new car costs 47,000 United States dollars if converted from the RMB price, but generally, frankly speaking, you can find this car much cheaper for about 35,000 US dollars if you want to buy in bulk or if you want to export. And this car is based on the BMW UKL platform, which is designed for the small compact front-wheel drive or full-wheel drive SUVs, and among others BMW X2 and Mini Countryman based on the same platform. And this body can be with two factory indexes, U11 and U12. And U12 means that the wheelbase is extended for 111 millimeters. And this makes this car super roomy on the second row. Look at this. The space here actually is comparable with much older brother of this car, BMW X3, and also it's really comfortable. And there are also used cars of this model which you can buy in Chinese market for a relatively cheap price, lower than $30,000. So I hope you understand this car is actually can be very attractive choice. And despite being the X1 logically the smallest car in the range, the length of this car is not so small and it brings it to the border of compact SUVs to medium-sized SUVs. The length is 4,616 millimeters, which is actually bigger than Volkswagen ID.4. At the same time, when you approach this car, you feel that it's rather a compact crossover because it's the height is quite small and it's only 1,641 millimeter. And the biggest rims available for this car are just 19-inch with these quite low-profile tires. So it more feels like a compact. Probably the most remarkable fact about this car are its versions. Currently, there are two versions available. They are called the xDrive 30L M Design and xDrive 30L X Design. And there are different information for the first version in M package. I still don't understand whether it is two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, but this is exactly the xDrive 30L M Design and this is a four-wheel drive car, but on some portals you can find that it should be a two-wheel drive car. Nevertheless, these two versions have basically same equipment, just a little bit difference in appearance, and the M package features natural leather, like here, and the X Design version features the substitution for the leather. In other terms, this car is quite well equipped as for BMW. And here we have HUD, which is quite small, and in 2024 it looks really outdated, but it's multicolored and it's beautiful. We have the Harman Kardon audio. The quality of this audio is quite poor, to be honest, and it is on the level of ID.4 Harman Kardon audio, which has 12 speakers, but the sound is totally not compared to the standard sound in Mercedes EQC, for example. We also have the electric seat regulation, seat memory, but for such things as seat heating you should pay extra. And the very remarkable thing that here is no adaptive cruise control system. Despite this car has a lot of driving assistance functions such as the blind spot monitoring, the road traffic sign recognition, the lane keeping assistant and auto parking. But still for the adaptive cruise control you have to pay extra. And also this car doesn't feature the steering wheel heating despite being in natural leather, and in China it's totally impossible to order, but in European cars you have the steering wheel heating, and also you have in European cars the adaptive suspension option, which is also not presented in China completely. Now we are inside and I like this interior, but at the same time I have a lot of complaints about it. The biggest complaint is the central control screen. It's only 10 inches diagonal and it's extremely small for 2024. But the size is not the biggest problem because the quality and responsiveness of this touchscreen is totally bad. Look at this. It was about 1 second. If I want to switch to telephone, okay, this was quite fast, but if you want to do it, you see, it's about 1 millimeter. It's about 1 second waiting. It's totally impossible. It's like the level of Toyota of 2016. And this car has the English language. Actually, it's United Kingdom language. It's not the normal, not the USA English or any other. And also we have the Chinese language, of course, because this is the Chinese market car, Chinese spec. And also we have the wireless CarPlay, which is definitely an advantage. And the main gauge is even smaller, despite looking the same. It's actually about 8 inches. So for me, this cluster gauge is not nice. But the car has a lot of physical buttons, which is definitely nice, which is definitely mean they didn't save too much money. And the materials here are somewhere extremely premium. Here we have the natural metal. I feel it's really cold. And the other problem with the interior is the quality issue, because when you push here everywhere, it's cracking a little bit, not too much. But yes, but a little bit, yes. And this door handle, it feels not solid at all. Actually, it feels like it's moving, and this is one of the main parts you touch when you're closing the door. So this is also a little bit not acceptable. And here I even have the one plastic part moves towards another plastic part. But the wireless charging place is perfect, and this is 10 out of 10, and I'm happy it's here. And it has also the fixator for the mobile phone. Here had a small box, which is generally not very usable, and here we have the glove box, which is very primitive, like from the low-level car, without any soft finishing, and basically very small. So the design and feeling from this interior is nice. The seats are very sporty, and the side support is extremely developed. These can be called the sport seats, and they're quite tough. And the visual perception is quite nice, but the quality of material somewhere not so good, and the quality of the multimedia is really bad. And also each version features this whole not openable panoramic sunroof, which has the curtain on it. And the other thing I really appreciate here is the deepening for the legroom, because of course this is a conversion to a battery car, and the floor is lifted, and that's why the seat position is not so low as I would love to. But because of this deepening here, same by the way in BMW i3, they made plenty of space for my legs and for the operating of the pedals. This is truly amazing thing, which they didn't make in BYD Song L, and even Zeekr pedal space is not so nice, but here they made it perfect. And if you have even 45 to 46 boot size, it will be zero problem for you. Now I'm sitting behind myself, and I assume this is one of the biggest advantages of their car. They made this second row extremely spacious. Yes, I told you it's extended wheelbase, but as a result we have the same space in the car as the much older brother, the BMW X3. I have plenty of legroom. I have quite sufficient height from the floor to the seat cushion, and this is remarkable because this is a conversion from oil to electricity platform. Not every car can do that, not every car manufacturer. And I have more than 1/5 space for my head, and this car is only 1,640 millimeters, and I'm 1,780 millimeters height, so this is also remarkable. The only disadvantage here is that there is no any entertainment, there is no possibility of the third zone climate, which present in the ID4 Prime version, and the armrest is quite small but still comfortable. But the most important that here you feel comfortable. You want to ride here for 2-3 hours without any problem. This is great achievement, BMW. Yeah, and they still have the central tunnel, which is no use for this car, but probably it's make the body more rigid. But it's not so high, it's maybe 7 centimeters. Of course, it could be eliminated. And for reference, now I'm sitting in BMW iX3 electric version, and here the totally same level of comfort. Yeah, you have more space for your head, but the car is much taller, and you have the third zone climate and a little bit better finishing, but the space and convenience is basically the same. And here the central tunnel is much more bigger actually. All the versions you can buy now in the Chinese market are equipped with electric tailgate with induction opening and position memory, and the trunk is very nice. It's 490 liters, it's square shaped, it's very convenient, it's quite well finished, but it's not a premium like EQC. Here no any stainless steel, and the quality of this carpet material is also much lower than, for example, EQC. I would say it's like premium economy. And also we have here the underfloor compartment, which with a quite nice system of fixation. Look at this. The hinges, they are equipped with a fixator, but it will be like that. And this is quite a premium feature because not many cars have it. And unfortunately here we have the second motor, and the size of this compartment is very small, about 5 centimeters, but here the compartment is quite nice. And the full capacity of the storage space, if you fold the rear seats, will be around 1600 liters, which is definitely nice. Unfortunately we don't have the flat floor, but it's relatively flat. And the size of this trunk I will show you in the picture right now. The front suspension of the car is a traditional McPherson, and I don't like the maximum turning angle of the front wheels, and I don't think the turning radius is really great and completely cannot be compared to the ID4, for example, at least in the rear-wheel drive version. And here everything looks basically not luxurious. Look at this connection between the two metal sheets, look at this pipe, probably some drainage from conditioner or something, and the spherical bearing cannot be changed from the suspension arm, and everything is made of steel, almost everything. So it looks like basically a cheap car, but at least thank you for the bolts which are here, which can be multi-use, and they fix the lockers to the body. It's much better than plastic clips. But where they did a super great job is the ground clearance. Look, under the front fender it's 208 millimeters, which makes this car probably one of the leader in the class. It's really nice. And this is the middle of the car, and under the battery they have 196 millimeters, okay, let's call it 200, and it's also very nice for the car which has 19-inch wheels, and for the conversion from from petrol to electricity. So here they made really good job with the ground clearance. Some remarkable features about the technical parameters of this car. Actually, the UKL platform on which this car is built is by default a front-wheel drive platform. But for electric iteration, they made it a rear-wheel drive platform by default, and it will have 150 kilowatt motor on the rear axle in a one-motor version. Here we have two-motor version, and we have 330 horsepower and 494 Newton meters of torque. And here everything looks extremely messy, and you clearly see that this is a conversion to electric car, and this car also doesn't have a heat pump in the air conditioning system, which is bad because here is the only one battery available, 66 kilowatt hours, which is for sure not much for the 2024 year. And BMW claims this battery can ensure you're driving 450 kilometers with two motors and 510 kilometers with one motor, but judging from the owning experience of Toyota BZ4X with the same battery, I think 300 to 350 is the maximum. But what I should thank the BMW for is the big 12-volt battery, which looks like from a gasoline car, and many electric cars has very small battery, and it causes many problems even after 1 year of using the car, and probably this battery will not cause you any problems for several years. For those who cares, this body made fully from steel, and the good thing that every steel panel like doors and fenders, they all have zinc coated in the underlayer, and the body crate also had the steel coating, and the doors inside zinc coating, and the doors inside have zinc coating, and only the hood is made of aluminium. Guys, and now we will make test drive of this BMW iX1 in M package and four-wheel drive version. Let's start. Okay guys, now we are driving BMW iX1, and this car is very characteristic and very specific. This car has very clear market segment. For me, it's a sport compact SUV. When you drive it, you feel it like an really not an SUV, basically, more like a hatchback, and only the very huge mirrors taken like from an X5, they show you that this is actually an SUV. But when you sit here, you feel it more like a Golf or something. And the car suspension and the car behavior is very sportive. The suspension is extremely tough, and the tire profile is actually small, and even the diameter of the rims are actually small. And the car is low and the car makes you to feel every bump on the road, but the biggest problem is not that it's tough. The biggest problem that you hear the low frequency sound from the bumps on the road all the time, and this is completely not the premium feature, not like EQC, not like any other car I've driven recently. And I must say that for me the sound is the biggest disadvantage in this car. The sound isolation, the soundproofing is not the best in this car. The dynamics and the steering is generally good. The movement of the acceleration pedal is actually very small. It's about maybe 30 to 40 millimeters. It's also not typical for most of the modern cars, most of the Chinese cars. And this car provokes you to drive fast because you sit here quite low, the car is basically quite narrow, the steering wheel is very sharp, and the dynamic is really nice, 330 horsepower. But the problem they didn't manage to escape is the ergonomy of the driver's seat, because we have the battery here. This is the lowest position in which I can sit, and the steering wheel is in the highest position. And basically I would like to have the steering wheel more higher and the seat more lower. With my height 178 centimeters, I now see the total hood of the car, and for the sport driving it's not so actually nice. And also the steering wheel seems like taken from another bigger car, so probably it's good for driving in the city, but I would say it's extremely big, because maybe it's the biggest steering wheel I've found in the past 10 car reviews. The HED here is actually very small, and it's not like in modern cars, not like in G-Car or other cars. It looks like from 2015, something like that, but the graphic is multicolored, and that's why it looks quite nice. And now we will try to accelerate from 0 to something. Let's go. Okay. And the acceleration is not so bad. It's on the level of ID4 Prime 4-wheel drive version, but judging from the numbers, this car actually is a little faster, but I don't feel it. Thank you very much for those who watched the video until this moment, and as a conclusion I should say that this car completely not worth the $47,000, which is the official retail price for it on the Chinese market if you convert from RMB. This car doesn't feature premium features in the suspension, in brakes, and almost no premium features in the interior. It also doesn't have the 360 panoramic camera views, and also doesn't have the seat heating and adaptive cruise control and steering wheel heating. And for this money, yes, it's totally not your choice. But we know this car has big discounts for $10,000 to $15,000, and for that price it can be a nice alternative to a four-wheel drive, for example ID4, which is same practical, driving a bit more sportive, and of course it's a more valuable brand because it's a BMW. If you want to buy such car from China, you can contact us through the contacts in the description to this video, and please subscribe to our channel and put us a like. Thank you very much and have a nice day.